The Celtic Supporters Association has fired a major warning shot at the board today in one of the strongest public statements we have seen from a supporters group in years. Martin O'Neill has also revealed that Celtic believed the Iheanacho deal was actually done before the striker walked away. Kyogo is being linked with a return and reportedly favours it. A fresh claim from Mexico puts Araujo back in the picture, and a Champions League giant killer from Norway has been revived as a transfer target. Massive morning, let's get into it. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Martin O'Neill has made a revealing admission about Kelechi Iheanacho, confirming that Celtic believed they had agreed a deal to keep the striker before he ended up leaving the club. Iheanacho departed after his contract expired, with the option that Celtic held to extend his deal allowed to lapse before fresh negotiations began. O'Neill had been clear throughout pre-season that he wanted the Nigerian forward to remain at Parkhead. Speaking after Celtic's 1-1 draw with Middlesbrough, the manager opened up on exactly what happened. O'Neill said, "Well, there's always two sides to every particular transfer. There is to every story. He's gone. I thought that we had a deal with him at the time, but seemingly that wasn't the case, and so he's gone to pastures new, so there we go." That is a significant admission. The manager publicly believed a deal was in place. It was not. Iheanacho has moved on elsewhere. O'Neill also hinted that the decision not to activate the original contract option may have come down to the terms attached to it, suggesting Celtic may have wanted to renegotiate rather than simply exercise the clause. Whatever the reasoning, the outcome is that a player O'Neill rated and used to real effect from the bench during the title run-in is no longer at the club. The manager remained positive about what Iheanacho contributed, saying, "I thought he did terrifically well for us as a real impact player coming on." But he made clear the departure has left a gap that now needs filling before the season begins. Now for the main story, as the Celtic Supporters Association has issued one of the strongest public statements from a supporters group in recent memory, delivering a direct and damning assessment of the board's running of the club, and warning that the same pattern of failure cannot be allowed to continue. The statement, signed by Interim General Secretary Joe Gallagher, was directed specifically at Celtic's executive team and majority shareholder Dermot Desmond. It made clear that the association's full support remained with O'Neill, his coaching staff and the players, but that those above them were falling far short of what the club demands. The timing is significant. Close to 60 days have now passed since Celtic won the league title against Hearts. In that time, only one player not already at the club has been added to O'Neill's squad. Iheanacho and Marcelo Sarachi have both left, despite O'Neill publicly expressing his desire to keep both. The association highlighted recent comments from Chief Executive Michael Nicholson, who was reported to have cited agents' fees, the financial power of the English Premier League and Championship, and even living in Glasgow as reasons why Celtic struggles to complete transfer business. The statement described those remarks as highlighting an executive team that appears unable to overcome the challenges of the modern transfer market. The association also raised concerns about Brian Wilson continuing as interim chairman with no clarity on the long-term leadership of the board and the ongoing absence of a head of football operations since Paul Tisdale's dismissal. The statement put it plainly. The current playing squad is clearly well short of what Celtic supporters, players, and the management team demand if we are to compete on all fronts domestically and challenge at the highest level of European football. It went on to note that the club continues to operate under a model that is no longer fit for purpose in 2026, describing the major shareholders' grip over decision-making as suffocating to the club. This is not a fringe view. The Celtic Supporters Association is the oldest and most established supporters body connected to the club. When they speak this directly and this publicly, it carries real weight. The new season is approaching, the squad is short, the board's response will be judged entirely by what follows. In other news, Kyogo Furuhashi has emerged as a potential Celtic return this summer, with reports today claiming the former Celtic striker favours coming back to Parkhead as his time at Birmingham City appears to be drawing to a close. Kyogo was left out of Birmingham's 3-0 friendly win over Solihull Moors earlier this week. Birmingham manager Chris Davies confirmed there were developments happening behind the scenes, saying the situation with Kyogo would become clearer within the next 48 hours, but that it was not a night to include him. Football Lowdown reports that an unnamed championship club are also trying to sign Kyogo, but that the player's preference is a return to Celtic. There is no confirmed bid, no agreed fee, and no suggestion that negotiations with Birmingham are at an advanced stage. The claim is that Kyogo favours a return, not that a deal is close. Kyogo scored 85 goals in 165 appearances during his first spell in Glasgow, winning 9 major honours. He left for Rennes in January 2025 before Birmingham brought him back to British football the following summer. He scored 3 times in 31 appearances for Birmingham last season, a difficult return to form, though he did score twice in a pre-season friendly win over Huddersfield last week before the omission that followed. With Iheanacho gone and the squad short of attacking depth, a return for a player who knows Celtic Park inside out has a certain logic to it. Whether the manager and the board make a move is another question entirely. In other news, a fresh claim has emerged from Mexico today linking Julian Araujo with a permanent return to Celtic, with reports suggesting the Bournemouth defender turned down interest from Liga MX clubs in favour of staying in European football. Mexican outlet Posta Deportes reports that Cruz Azul and Toluca both approached Araujo ahead of the new season. The report says he thanked both clubs but made clear his preference is to remain in Europe. Celtic are named as a possible destination, with the article's headline suggesting he is close to joining the club. The details inside the article tell a more cautious story. Celtic are described as considering making an offer after being pleased with his performances during his loan spell last season. There is no confirmed bid, no fee agreed, no talks at an advanced stage, and no medical arranged. The claim from Mexico should be treated carefully given the gap between the headline and the actual content. What does appear clear is that Araujo wants to stay in Europe and has actively declined an easier return to Mexico. That is meaningful for Celtic if they decide to pursue a permanent deal. Araujo is 24, under contract at Bournemouth, and valued at around £6.9 million by the outlet, though Bournemouth's asking price could be higher given what they paid Barcelona for him in 2023. His time at Celtic on loan helped him rediscover his form and confidence. He knows the club, he knows Scottish football, and he made an impression during the title run-in before injury disrupted the end of his season. The fresh claim from Mexico keeps him in the conversation. Whether Celtic act on it is the next question. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.